Action News has obtained this report into a mold problem here at City Hall in Wyandotte. Investigators finding the building to be severely contaminated. And even though employees say they'd been complaining for months, they had no idea about the disturbing conclusions. On picturesque Biddle Street in downtown Wyandotte, some say there's been an ugly secret inside City Hall. These photos show suspected mold colonies in the building. The report only Action News has obtained, verifying something workers had been worried about, as they complained about fatigue, scratchy throats, and sinus issues for over a year and a half. Their concerns supported in this report from Environmental and Occupational Consulting and Training out of Kalamazoo, an independent company which investigated the inside of City Hall, taking samples and coming up with stunning conclusions. The report conducted in the summer of 2010, but few people knowing about it until someone inside the building found it and dropped it in everyone's mailbox just days ago. Inspectors at the time finding wet and humid conditions conducive to the growth of molds and bacteria. Employees with symptoms consistent with exposure to mold in the workplace, and concluding the building to be severely contaminated.
The first thing I asked them is, do they want us to move out of this building now? Is this building where we shouldn't be working? And the answer was no.
The report says investigators found several species of mold spores in the building, and the concentration to be, quote, significantly higher than what should be tolerated in a public building, and the spores being distributed throughout the building by the air handling system. City officials say today they've completed some of the easiest of the 17 recommendations, including cleaning up the basement. The basement is now off limits. But the city has not followed some of what they call the more extreme measures because they're moving to a new building within the next 2 years.
All the recommendations would cost about $350,000. I mean, for instance, the roof is old on this building. It should be replaced, but we're just patching it. As we find leaks, we patch it.
As for not publicizing the report's findings, they admit that has been a mistake. Even the city councilwoman says she was kept in the dark about the report until just a few days ago.
This may have just slipped under the covers, and I'm not saying anything was intentional, but yeah, I was a little surprised. I was not aware of that particular independent inspection report until last week.
More air samples will be taken inside this building in the next couple of weeks. By the way, some of the workers here who are too afraid to go on camera say they still have their symptoms. In Wyandotte, Michael Rosenfield, Channel 7 Action News.